Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool here at Chicago, Barstool Sports HQ, and very, very excited right now. We got a couple of Dukies sitting here on the couches. We got PFT, we got Evan Bosenko, Ebo, doing a little guest appearance because we have JMU head coach Bob Chesney on the show right now. Coach Chesney, what's going on, man? How we doing today? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Go Dukes. Love to see it. You too. Love to see it.
Hell yeah, man. So, look, you have a fascinating resume, successful everywhere you've been, a lot of different levels of football. Actually, I want to start here. So when you look at kind of how you've worked your way up the ranks and now you're the head coach of a team that is, deeply involved in playoff talks, when you look back on your journey, what did maybe some of those other stops teach you, and how much does it translate from level to level as you keep kind of climbing up the college football tiers?
Yeah, well, the first thing I think it teaches you that there is no job too small. It doesn't matter what it is. Every little thing matters. If it's going to affect this program, it's going to affect this program in either a positive or a negative way. So you got to make sure you affect it in a positive way. So, you may laugh, but at the D3 days, I was also in charge of work study. I was also in charge of game day management for softball. Wow. Just ridiculous amounts of stuff on top of all the football and the recruiting and strength and conditioning and special teams and offense and defense and everything that comes with it. But it really did. There's moments where I was doing the laundry. So it teaches you, that everything matters and is professionally and, to the best of your ability that you could do it, the better off that team is going to never realize the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. And that was ultimately for me, was to provide the greatest experience I could, even at the D3 level, to the D2 level, to the FCS, to the FBS levels. Just make it one step above or two steps above if you can. And that was ultimately, what I learned along the way.
Coach, I'm a big fan. You've done a great job this season, watching all your games. Huge fan of the JMU Dukes. I think they need more respect nationally on their name. To me, it seems like they're the best group of 5 school in the country at this moment. In my opinion, I'm unbiased, but in my opinion, that's what I truly believe. One thing that's been incredible to watch about the Dukes, at least in the last month or so, is what happens after halftime. JMU allowed 0 points in the second half in the entire month of October, which is crazy. Have you thought about giving the halftime speech before the game starts?
No doubt. I have thought about that, quite a bit. That is a thing that I just am so proud of our guys on. They get, as you watch our season, we get better each week, but they get better within the game, play after play after play. They just keep getting better, understanding their matchup. They don't get caught up in the emotion of getting beat here or there or whatever it might be. And they're just on to the next play. They have really next play speed, next play mentality. And it's really awesome to watch our guys just continue to grow that way and continue to come together. But I might consider that halftime speech before the game. Makes a lot of sense. But then what I do at halftime at that point is then the question.
Yeah.
Coach, I just want to say hair looks great as usual. Nice, clean cut. I just really want to touch more on your defense because you talked about.
I was going to mention the hair. It is a perfect.
Hey, I put the call out to JMU Nation. I said,
great question, Ebo.
Good job, Ebo.
The JMU Nation just wanted to ask what the hair routine was, but I want to know more about your defense. You went into last year expecting to have D'Angelo Pons and Aiden Fisher. Both transfer out to Indiana, both on their way to being All-Americans, yet the defense is still one of the best in the country. You only gave up 1 yard against Old Dominion in the second half. No points in all of October in the second half. Maybe talk about how you've been able to retool the defense through the transfer portal and maintain the success despite not having those individual players.
Yeah, well, when we first got here, the first year, we had a center, a guard, and a punter that came back that were the starters from the year before. And then we had a lot of guys that played, plays and some meaningful plays, but really those were the 3 starters. So we had 64 or 65 new guys join this team. And then the next year, this year we had 54 new guys joining the team. And I think that is just where the world is at this moment until you get the roster stabilized and until your freshmen become sophomores and your sophomores become juniors and begin to contribute. Then you could, begin to fill it better from below. But really, when you lose a lot of starters, you got to replace them with older guys that have meaningful snaps, maybe coming from other schools. But yeah, it took a lot. You had to find the right guy. You had to find the right combination of past experience and past success and really competitive, stressful environments. And then, as much as you talk about the height and the weight and the speed and the wingspan and all the things that come with it, there's really this other piece of, does this person fit our program? They might fit a lot of other programs in the country, but the way we do things here, will they fit it or not? And that is ultimately what we look for. So as much as we go through the production and we go through the size and we go through all the measurables, there comes this, true connection at the end of, does this guy fit here or not? Because we're going to ask a lot of them on a day-to-day basis. We're going to ask them to compete every day and bring it every single day. And it's very demanding. It's not demeaning, but it's very demanding. And we got to make sure that personality fits. Otherwise, it just doesn't work out.
Well, Coach, and so I can't help it. It's really interesting. You talk about how you kind of came up, everything you're having to do. I mean, scouting, everything else involved. And I ask every group of 5 coach this, but in this modern setting, right, where your best players do tend to get poached, and you have to go try and find diamonds in the rough and find talent elsewhere. And really, you're at a school, Coach, where you think about all the credit that Cignetti gets and brings all the players, but you're at a school that expects to win. They don't care that everybody left. Do you feel like that past has helped you navigate this very turbulent and insane time where you're having to scout all over the country to try to put these teams together?
Yes, 100%. And I think my stops along the way were not just regional. When I was at Johns Hopkins, you had to recruit through the nation. When I was at Holy Cross, we were all over Chicago, California, really almost everywhere you had to be to find that academic fit. So I think now, you obviously want to stay within your region here. We want to be as successful as we can first in Virginia, and then move it up to the DMV, and then find ourselves a little bit of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, North Carolina. But then sometimes you got to go outside that area, and to have the ability to evaluate and know about other conferences and other states is really an important thing that we all on our staff have experience with. So that has been a big help. But really, we're looking for patterns of past success. Really, that's what it has to be, is that we can't just say he was a 3-star kid that, was highly touted as a recruit, but hasn't played yet. We think he'll be fine. We want to find that guy that has played and produced in pressure situations.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you're saying that you would take a smaller school guy who has had statistical success or won games at quarterback or something over an old 4-star recruit that's just been buried on a Power 4 roster for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. For us, and it's not the case for everybody else, but we had a couple 4-star kids here a year ago that came from higher level, and it just, didn't work out as much as it did those guys that walked around this campus. And this is the height of their playing career at this point in time, and they love everything about it, probably have a chip on their shoulder from playing at a lower level, and will give you every single thing they got. There's a big difference in that. That's what we found. Now, does everybody runs their program the way they run their program, but for us, that's where we found the most success.
What about hypothetically a rugby kicker who kicked in college 20 years ago, all decade, not to brag, at a smaller school like Central Virginia-ish? Would there be a guy like that with a proven track record on the JMU Dukes?
100%. I mean, if you could get the film of that, we will evaluate it like we do everybody else.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a lot in there that goes with it, but I have a feeling I know who you're talking about. We would take that guy.
What if he had a sick ass mullet?
All day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even it. That's even more important. My son's trying to grow one of those right now, so it's
powerful.
It adds to it. Yep.
Yeah, I did actually try out for the JMU football team when I was a junior at JMU. And they told me that I went up to the tryout, and they were like, you play on the rugby team, correct? I was like, yeah. And they said, well, are you going to be able to go to away games? I said, no, that's the thing. I can only do home games. And they said, we're kind of looking for a kicker that plays in all the games. They kind of sprung that on me at the last minute. So I would like the opportunity to make that right at some point. I think I got some eligibility left. But I know Big T's got a question for you.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. I don't know if you've heard, there are several coaching vacancies across the country, and I know that's your agent's job, and you don't deal with that, but you've done a great job, and some people bring your name up from time to time. Do you talk about that to your team? Do you say, listen, this is what happens when we have success? Do you not mention it at all? How does that go?
I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. So I worry about, what we got to do on a day-to-day basis here, like every other coach in America. But ultimately, to me, I think, there's a lot of different guys that say a lot of different things when it comes down to it. I can tell you that we're, perfectly happy here. This to me is this, if you saw this, student body and you saw the stands, and this is a big time place to play and coach football. And we love everything about it. And ultimately, are there things that someday may show up that are life changing? Possibly. But I've been in this situation a lot of times, and every place I've been, they always talk about, hey, he's leaving. And that seems to be a thing that happens all the time, especially in recruiting. And for me, we just take it one day at a time here and do the best we can. But at the end of the season, I think a lot of people have a lot of different decisions to make, our players included nowadays.
Yeah.
So I think it's, to me, the best thing is open and honest and transparent conversation with our players when those things come up. But we're so focused right now on just being the best we can be, which is what we got to do. You don't get to this point where I'm on the show, our name's in the conversation because we're letting a lot of external, conversations come into play. That's not what happens. Like, how did we get here? We got here because we cared about having the greatest practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that we possibly can. And we're walking into Thursday right now. And that's all we should be caring about. So ultimately, our guys are singular in their focus. They are locked in. And I'm excited about this team and their continuous progression.
Coach, so it sounds like you're going to be signing a kicker with a sick mullet. You have a linebacker with sick face paint, Gannon Weathersby. He has gone viral multiple times over the last couple of years for his face paint in games. Maybe talk about that ritual, maybe just having a psycho like that on your defense.
Yeah, a psycho for certain. And that's a great way to describe him. He plays football hard. He is, just a tough physical kid. I don't know where the face paint came from, to be honest. I've never even asked him. I pretend I don't even notice it. But it's one of those things that, it's his deal. He loves it. And I think whatever it's bringing out of him, is working for him. So I will never try to squash somebody's deal when they feel that's helping them. So he's done a great job. There's a lot of other guys on the team that are figuring out exactly who they are and what their style of play is. And it just keeps elevating. If that face paint helps them, I'm all in.
Does he do that in practice at all, or is it just strictly always game day?
Always game day, which is why I almost forget to talk to him about, because I've been meaning to ask him about it. And then I forget. We get to game day. I'm like, oh, I forgot to ask him about this. And here he is wearing the face paint. I don't want to distract him. I want him to just be locked in. So I just let it go.
Yeah. Have you ever had like a not intense conversation with him when he's in the face paint, like after the game or something?
No,
Has there ever been like a moment where you're just like talking about the family or something and you're looking at him like, I can't, this is a bizarre interaction I'm having?
Yeah, I don't think there's room for that. Yeah. Right? When you're wearing that face paint, I think it's business.
It's just a lot, yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Coach, I know that you guys are doing like a Marvel theme in a couple weeks. The helmets are going to have different Marvel characters on the side of them. Oh. Are you going to have anything different about your game day attire as a coach?
No, I didn't really think much about that yet. I'm just focused on this week, but ultimately, I don't know. What do you think? You send me something, a cape or something? Is that what I should be wearing?
I mean, a coach in a cape would go hard.
Would be so sick.
Yes,
oh my
I kind of
God.
like that. Although if you lose wearing a cape, you're never coming back from that.
That's fair. Coach, you got Marshall coming up this weekend, road game, and as we've kind of alluded to, right? Like we're here in the show and everything. Like JMU's hot right now, starting to be talked about. How do you approach it with the team? And every coach that we talk to and ask these questions, we've gotten like a few different approaches, but how do you avoid the proverbial Nick Saban rat poison?
Yeah, are you talking about this week?
Yeah, or just like kind of maybe even just going forward.
Like we're gassing you up a lot.
Yeah,
you're getting
no
guys
doubt,
like
no doubt.
T-Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, we just talked about it in there right now, in our team meeting right before I came on the show. I said, I got to go do this show, with a couple of alums. And, I said it to me that that's just part of the deal that we're on here. But ultimately, it's got to just be locked in. We have to continue to stay locked in. And I think where teams, make those mistakes is they start listening to the outside noise and the distractions and everything that comes with it. And it's nice, though. You want them to be able to enjoy this, right? They've earned a lot of it. So it's important that you don't just brush it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist, because it does. And it's something they should be proud of. But ultimately, it can't change the way we prepare for our meetings, the way we prepare for practice, the way we practice, and the way we play the game. It can't affect any of those things. It has to do with, is it good for winning and losing? Are we eliminating the losing things, continue to do the winning things, and just step on that field and play the brand of football that we always play, this relentless, tough, physical football for 60 straight minutes is what it's got to be. If it's not helping, that, then we should not be talking about it. But there are things that I do want them to enjoy and experience because of the work they've put into it. And I think that we're all sharing this journey. It's a year-to-year journey based on the portal and everything else that comes with it. So I think it's important that we maximize, this experience at the same point in time without taking away from the task at hand.
That's a fair point, Coach, and we appreciate your time. I just want to leave you with this one thought, because on this show, every time we sign off with the coach, we say what our biggest regret in life was. And my personal biggest regret in life is that I ever left Harrisonburg, Virginia. I just wish I'd stayed there my entire life and just set up shop, become a king there, probably build a statue of me one day. Unfortunately, I left, and every day I wake up thinking, man, that was a short-sighted move on my part. I wish I just stayed in Harrisonburg.
Yeah, just never left.
I mean, it's a beautiful time of year, too, in Harrisonburg.
Statue.
Yeah. So that had nothing to do with you. That was just me sharing my regrets.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yep. I empathize.
All right, Coach, you're the man. Thank you so much. You have an excellent day. Kick some ass this weekend on the road at Marshall at noon. Check them out, guys. If you haven't watched James Madison yet, they are very worth your time. Best of luck with everything going forward.
Appreciate it, guys. Go Dukes.
Go Dukes.
Go Dukes.
Thanks,
Let's
Coach.
go,
Thanks,
baby.
Coach.
Coach Bob Chesney, man, incredible. He gets it, and I
Great
do
question
love
by
it.
Evo.
Great question.
Great haircut.
I mean, the hair is incredible, to be fair.
The number one requested question for him was, what is the hair routine?
But that was your opening question was, there's no better journalism that's ever happened than that.
Great hair.
I brought
How
the
about the
grades to national
defense?
TV.
Your question was great hair, Coach.
Yeah.